In the media victory lap following the release of the final episode of Marvel's She-Hulk, where the cast and crew proudly declared that the whole series was but a middle finger to the fans. Showrunner Jessica Gao revealed that at one point she and Kevin Feige clashed, so much so that she almost up and quit. Having seen the series, Kevin Feige and Marvel would have been better off if she did. In this editorial, we will look into what Jessica Gao said, how revealing that is about her character, and why someone of her character is the last kind of person Marvel should be working with. In the October 13th stream of the Phase Zero podcast, she described how Kevin Feige, despite having okayed all the insanity up to that point, had one huge problem with the final episode, specifically with his in-episode counterpart, the robot Kevin, or rather, Kevin's appearance. You see, Kevin Feige is known for always wearing a baseball cap. To the extent of which he has a trademark, it would be that. And so, Jessica Gao wanted the robot Kevin to also have an oversized custom-made cap, just like the real Kevin Feige. But this was where Kevin Feige drew the line. Having the Abomination be a therapist and a life coach with final episode shades of Jordan Peterson was fine, so was the prevalent misandry. But an oversized custom-made baseball cap on a robot was a bridge too far. He didn't see how it made any sense for a robot to wear a cap like that, so the answer was no. To this, Jessica Gao said she became furious, even in a meeting with 20 people listening in. Ignoring this, she took on the boss directly, saying to Kevin Feige that if you don't let me put a hat on that machine, then I quit. But if she thought she was going to get her way that way, she had another thing coming. Because after a few seconds pause, Kevin Feige responded, "Thank you very much, Jessica. You've done a lot of great work for us. We're sad to see you go." The reason she didn't go was the intervention from someone she described as Sweet Jackson Z from Previs, who, ever the mediator and hard worker, gently suggested what if they incorporate into the design of the machine something that would read as a baseball hat. That Kevin Feige had no issue with, and so production commenced, with Jessica Gao still on board, serving as the showrunner. She evidently thought this was a cute and funny story to share, and since there has been some debate as to whether or not this really happened. I'm inclined to think that it did, because no one would make such a story up. That Jessica Gao would so casually share it without recognizing what it implies about her character, her professionalism or lack thereof, only further illustrates how wrong she was for something like She-Hulk. First of all, as our good friend Script Doctor suggested in our live discussion of this event, which you will find clipped on Midnight's Edge live archives, click the link in the description for that. If there ever is an additional design element that you get blocked from putting in there, then the standard backup solution is to incorporate it into the main design. This Sweet Jackson Z from Previs didn't come up with some radical new idea. He came up with the standard default backup plan that anyone who has been involved with filmmaking for some time should have come up with. The embarrassing thing here is that Jessica Gao didn't think of this herself, because that should have been her instant retort when Kevin Feige said no to a giant custom-made baseball cap on a robot. But Jessica Gao didn't think of this solution, which would instantly resolve the boss's issue, because she was busy having a fit and being furious in front of 20 people. Because you see, she had that one idea, and it was such a good one, and she was so attached to it that she had to have it, exactly like that, or she would quit. Keep that in mind as we revisit what the very same Jessica Gao said a couple of years back, before she became attached to She-Hulk.
That's the thing, is that people outside of the business, what they don't understand is they think it's all about a great idea. And it's like, Dude, ideas are a fucking dime a dozen.
It's
like
true.
any idea that you can think of, 20 people have already thought of it
100%.
before. And it really, truly, you only sell something on the promise of execution.
Yeah.
Like they're not buying it for the idea. They're buying it because they're like, I know you can actually deliver this idea.
I know, yeah, for sure. You have to hash it out further
Yeah.
than just an idea.
Yeah.
You gotta
Ideas mean nothing.
Yeah, there's like 50 motherfuckers getting stoned right now.
Yeah.
Like, I got a fire idea.
Yeah, totally. And so like
That was me.
the people who are all fucking precious about their ideas, it's like, that tells me two things. You don't have any other ideas. Because when people are like way too precious about one idea, that means they have nothing else.
It's true.
Like, I don't care. Like, if something doesn't go for me, I'm like, I don't care. I got 2,000 other ideas.
And they get super mad about somebody who actually figured out that idea and took it further.
Yeah.
It would appear that Jessica Gao's earlier statements don't jibe with her current actions. And to be clear, she was right before, not in throwing a hissy fit and having a temper tantrum, screaming at the boss in front of 20 others. As I have argued before, in the previous video actually, I am of the opinion that whenever accusations of a toxic fandom are levied, you are in reality dealing with toxic creatives who project their own attributes onto the audience who reject their subversive, divisive, and exclusionary work. The sheer joy Jessica Gao took when she revealed that she had devoted an entire Marvel series to troll what she perceived to be trolls clearly signals that she is herself a deeply toxic individual, and this toxicity in her character is also infused into her work and how she engages with others. Case in point, when Kevin Feige, after agreeing to everything else she wanted, put his foot down on this one thing. She did not respect that the boss had just put his foot down. She did not consider how to work around it. No, she was attached to this one idea, something which she herself has said earlier is a bad idea to be, that she locked up and became furious in front of 20 others. When she threatened to quit, Kevin Feige should have accepted her resignation on the spot, had security escort her out of the building to set an example to the other 20 people watching, and then replaced her with someone else actually competent and hopefully less toxic. Because honestly, this is on Kevin Feige. Jessica Gao revealed to him exactly what she wanted to do and what kind of person she is, and he kept her on in spite of all of that. She-Hulk suffered from having Jessica Gao on as a showrunner, but the MCU is suffering because Kevin Feige allows people like Jessica Gao to serve as showrunners. Because of that, Marvel right now is in a downward spiral and in dire need of a shakeup. What do you think should happen? Let me know in the comments.